Hi, I'm Mike Keys, banjo player. I'd like to talk a little bit about how I learn a tune. I've been playing musical instruments for quite a number of years, and banjo off and on, but during COVID I decided to make old-time banjo my COVID project, and since I can't play clawhammer with beans, I decided to go back to the two-finger styling that I first learned from a Pete Seeger book when I was 14 years old. That's quite a long time ago. Anyway, the one of the reasons why I decided to pick thumb lead two-finger style was because the thumb is used to pick out the tune. And I find that when I want to learn a tune, especially if I find one that I like at a jam or something, I was able to play the tune more or less fairly quickly, but I had to really work very hard to get the tune right. And it takes a lot of work. So that's not unusual and not surprising to me, because one of the things that I do is study people who are experts and how they become experts. There'll be a link in the below about a book that I wrote on the subject. Basically what happens is you learn the tune with your thumb, then you add your second finger. So it seems pretty simple, and it sort of is, but it isn't, so who knows. Now, every time I've gone to a place that was teaching how to play two-finger style, especially thumb lead, they set a bunch of rules for you to start out with, and this is a good thing because it gives you some structure and context, which you will later break down as you learn the tune and try and play like the fiddle players do. Of course, the problem is that you're not a fiddle player, you're a banjo player, so it means that you have to stay within the boundaries of your instrument, but that allows you to become more creative, since boundaries do enhance creativity. So let's start out with a simple tune, one I already know, Angeline the Baker. So the tune goes... That's the first part, and this is a song. It's not. It's actually. I don't know what came first, the song or the tune itself, but it is a song, and the song is a lot different in many respects than what you hear on the fiddle or in clawhammer banjo, because they're not. You're not singing it. The singing allows you to be a lot freer and do whatever you want. So the second part is. And in double D tuning with the two-finger style, that allows you to have a lot of leeway because you're doubling up on these notes here, first and fifth string. So the rules always say that you play the thumb lead, which means you should go instead of, which is what I played that high A note with my index finger. And there is a difference because the index finger can't give you the same tonality as the thumb. So basically you learn to use your thumb to play the tune as you hear it. And then you revise it and revise it and revise it. Because the secret to learning to play anything or do anything well is deliberate practice, which means you have to focus on what you want to do. You very deliberately go ahead and make sure you know exactly what you're doing. The deliberate practice was first outlined many years ago, and it's kind of the theme of a number of books that claim that you don't need to have any talent to become an expert at anything. That's an entirely different subject, and the answer, of course, is that's baloney. You have to have both talent and do the practice, otherwise anybody could play in the NBA. I think it'd be fairly simple, and we all as musicians know that there are those 15-year-old kids out there that blow us away and will never get as good as they are because they've been playing since they were 3, and we just picked this up when we were 40. So while practice, deliberate focused practice can help you quite a bit, and in this kind of music, especially playing this style, one can do very well with it. But it's just not true. You have to have talent and lots of practice. You don't have to have 10,000 hours. That was a mistake Malcolm Gladwell made because he superficially read the Erickson paper on deliberate practice. In fact, Erickson et al. wrote another paper that just to try to point out that whatever Gladwell said was wrong. But you do have to do the practice. Now, so that means putting in the time. Now, if you haven't got time to do it, you can still play the tune. You just don't play it as sophisticated a manner as a fiddle player does. Now, can you do it with two-finger style? Two-finger style is quite different from clawhammer. I mean, the rhythm's different, the focus is different, the sound is totally different. And with two-finger style, you end up being a little more melodic, like melodic bluegrass style banjo. And you try to play more of the notes that the fiddle players, or the notes of the tune as you see it. But the point is that it's a fairly simple technique. Basically, you alternate your thumb and your first finger, and your first finger kind of sticks around the first string, and sometimes the second string, very rarely the third string. But there are a lot of things you have to learn just by playing music. And one of the ways you do that is you play the tune, and then you start making some mistakes, and sometimes the mistakes sound really good, and then you can incorporate them. Now that's the quick and dirty version of how to play thumb lead two-finger banjo. But so let's add this extra finger, see what happens. And see, I'm playing that E, which doesn't make any sense at all, but it's really just a quick passing note. It's not part of the tune. So one of the things I've noted about this double D tuning is that you're not playing it the same way the clawhammer players would do it, because they would go. And they use this D form as their home form. But what I do is I use this sort of D shape as my home. So this note here on the second string on the 4th fret is the same as the first string on the second fret on the first string. And I double up the 5th string and the 5th string here, the 5th fret and the 5th string here. So what you get is this is the kind of thing you need to explore if you're going to learn to play two-finger style, because there's so much to it, and you can go all the way up the neck playing duplicate notes that are all over the fingerboard, and it takes a while to learn how to do this. Now, I was doing it because I had nothing else to do in COVID except stay home and try and stay alive, so I started looking at it quite a bit. But I found that there's a lot of very interesting things you can do with this. This is not a video on how to play the two-finger style. It's just one that shows the kinds of things you need to do, especially if you want to learn a tune. So let's go back to Angeline the Baker. I've gone. That's the start of. Now, notice like I hit this D note. I did it by accident quite a bit, and then I decided, well, this is just like a bagpipe, so we'll just keep playing that D note no matter what. So it gets a little muddled at times. You have to be very careful with it. But these are the kinds of things you learn about yourself. Excuse me, my thing just died. These are the things you try to learn, and I'm hoping this helps a little bit. I'm going to set up a series of just tunes without any much explanation about what I'm doing, and at some point I'll try to explain it, because it's very simple and it's very complex at the same time, and it's very hard for somebody who's never played any instrument before to learn how to do it. But just remember, the basics are: one, play the tune itself with your thumb, use your other finger just to add passing notes, and sometimes you add a tune, the note that's actually in the tune with this finger, but you're better off with the thumb. And that's about all the rules I'm going to give you, because at some point you're going to find that they don't all stay the same, that creativity involves finding your limits and expanding them slightly, which sometimes means not following the rules. I hope this is helpful. Please leave something in the comments if you have some ideas, and I'll get back to you. And I'm enjoying trying to learn this for the rest of my life. Talk to you later.